Hello, how you guys doing? Hope you're having a wonderful Yom Kippur or holiday or whatever you celebrate today. Hope you have a good day. Well, I thought I have an interesting video, and it's going to talk about a couple of videos going to talk about relationships again. This time, one of them's going to talk about this one commentator talk about gold diggers, and this other one. But the third one is going to be kind of hilarious. This is O'Shea Jackson on Dr. Umar. Yes, he did another video on Dr. Umar, but that'll be my third video. And you're going to be surprised.
Investing in real estate debt on ground floor provides a low-risk way to earn high yields and earn consistent double-digit cash
black
returns.
Networks on the third video. But you'll see what I'm talking about.
There are 167 million women in America. Let's go ahead and cut that number in half, which would be 84, almost 90 million. Let's see. 167 be 80. Yeah, about 84 million women. What are we talking about today? We're talking about the death of the sugar daddy. I had signed up on this platform. I haven't checked it in years. And I went in there today and I had 150 messages. When I was on there, I never had that type of number of messages. So one of the things you're seeing is the number of very attractive women who are financially struggling. And part of this is the death of the sugar daddy. And I gave you the number. Let's go ahead and say 167 million women. Cut that in half. That's going to be like 85 million women, right? You know, adjusting for ages and stuff like this. And we could cut it in half. We can cut it to 42 million women. Let's say there are 42 million women out there in the sugar daddy market, right? Alright, so if you take all of the NFL players, all of the NBA players, all of the Major League Baseball players, all of the actors, and all of the rappers, we will come up with about 30,000 men. 30,000. 30,000. And let's go ahead and cut the number of women in the sugar baby market from 42 to 22 million. It's still 30,000 men. What's happening is the economy is starting to get bad. I'll share some stuff with you. I'm in the market for a house, and this is one of the things I'm seeing. I'm seeing $1 million houses come on Zillow Sunday and have a contract Friday. And this is something my real estate agent told me. A lot of these people who are buying these $1 million houses are paying cash, so they're not worried about an interest rate. And what I'm seeing is the top of the market is holding steady while the lower market is slipping. I'm starting to see a lot of discounts on rental houses, lower margin houses. Every week I'm seeing discounts. So the number of average men who could support a sugar baby is at an all-time low. Hence the death of the sugar daddy. Because there are so many women out there who are looking for someone to take care of them, to provide, to give them money, right? But due to the economy, there are not that many men. Like, once again, go back to the TikTok videos. Go back to all of this stuff where people are whining about the price of eggs. They're whining about the price of dog food. All of this stuff. And here's the thing. Have things gone up? Yes. But they've only gone up 10%, maybe 20%. They've not like 100% increase. That hasn't happened. So this lets you know that the average person was already on the situation. The financial situation was bad to begin with. I saw this one video and I 100% agree. If you're blaming inflation for your financial problems, you had problems before inflation. Because here's the thing, with the death of the sugar daddy, because one of the things, and I predicted that this was going to happen. You cannot flood the economy with $6 trillion, pay people who are sitting at home smoking weed, playing video games, having sex, and do this for almost 2 years, and then after these 2 years expect people to go back to normal. This is one of the reasons that people are whining on social media. This is one of the reasons that you see all of these things. It's like, I'm tired of working my job. I just need a break. I am stressed out from going to work 40 hours a week. And I see these videos and I start chuckling. You're whining about having to work 40 hours? And this is why it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Let me explain to you what's going to happen. I've been reached out. Someone's reached out to me talking about, I know what she wanted. She wanted me to actually pull her in, help her with her financial issues, and I couldn't do this. I'm not in the business of saving hoes. I'm just not. So, with the death of the sugar daddies, there are less and less men who have the financial ability to go ahead and patronize these women. And this is why I said, go back, look at the TikToks and see the number of attractive women who are complaining, who are like, oh man, it's so expensive. The price of eggs, the price of oatmeal, the price of baking is all-time high. I can't take it anymore.
You invest in yourself and in others. You make the commitment when times are tough.
I can't take it anymore. Let me explain to you what's going to happen. Right now, there is a shift in American culture. And one of the things that we're going to see is the number of people who are going to be able to financially support themselves in a good lifestyle. And what is that? Like, someone left a comment talking about my friend's son, like $200,000 in California, and he ain't paying 60% in taxes. Y'all can let that go. Tax rules don't work that way. And he is out there in California, and let's go ahead and let me explain some stuff to you. Since he's out there in California, his father, who was rich, the whole time he was in college, and I didn't even get into all this, guess what he was getting? He was getting a W-2 because his father employed him. So guess what is he doing? He just graduated Georgia Tech, May, and he's buying a house in California. So all this other stuff, he's going to be struggling. You ain't struggling at $200K a year. Let that go. But what you're going to see is a big shift in America. And for all of you guys who listened to me years ago, who started a business, improved their economics, and put themselves in a position, you're going to have the choice of choices. You're going to be able to get what you want out of a woman. Because this whole notion of, I'm an independent woman, I don't need, some chicks like, I'd rather be homeless than to be married. That's slavery. And I was just sitting there like, be homeless then. Because see, there's a lot of women out there who, once they're going through that first foray of helplessness, that first foray of financial difficulty, that changes mindsets. All of a sudden, these things that they were so resistant against, like getting married, cleaning houses, taking care of old men, we'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, they're down for that now. They're down for that because winter is here. The price of gas, the price of electricity, the price of cable example, the price of everything is going up.
Mm-hmm.
Foreclosures are starting to spike up.
Yeah.
Car repossessions are at an all-time high. Credit card debts at an all-time high. So the average person is going to be struggling out here, right? And let's go ahead and talk about taking care of old women. I have seen this, and some people have talked about this. Well, I'm young, and I don't want to give up someone. I want to have to take care of an old woman. Oh, man. Let me go explain something to you. Some of you young, frisky women going to be changing the old man's diapers in the future because changing an old man's diaper is better than being homeless. All the stuff that y'all were like, I ain't going to do, I don't want to do, that's going to change. That's going to change on a massive level. It's going to change tremendously. You're going to find yourself doing all kinds of stuff. OnlyFans, as I said in my last video, you're going to have a girl in a strip club. She's going to be doing camming at home, and she's going to be escorting with the men who approach her in the club. And once again, the price of pee is going to an all-time low. It's going to an all-time low. And this is just what's happening because, I gave you the numbers. The number of men, the stars, the NFL stars, the NBA stars, the actors, the rappers, that only makes up about 30,000 men in the United States. 30,000.
What differentiates Vermeer from other brands out there is simply construction. What?
Check, but oh, you think that's something? Wait till you hear this one.
Channel. It's been dormant for a couple years, but go subscribe to the Clips channel. I'm gonna be putting the clips there until I get remonetized over there. They took the monetization away because I've been at gig.
Ebony is a textbook example of why brothers have gotten those blue books and are headed overseas.
Right, appreciate that, McDowell's. Shout out to Liana. Yeah, that's how you two be, man. That's why I say make sure you follow me on everything else. He should be slapped one more time. That's what she said. She said that Chris Rock should be slapped one more time. She stabbed her radio show 5 years ago, or co-host used to call her Ebony Kardashian Williams. I wouldn't doubt that. She comes off as one of these black women that would talk crap about black men behind their backs.
Then she had the nerve to use that white supremacy talking point in her last response on the Griot.
Oh really? Shout out to Super. So she wants to use white. What is with you divested heifers? What is with you divested heifers that want to go pro-black when you feel like it? No, you're a failed gold digger that got caught being a failed gold digger, Ebony. You can't use white supremacy. And no matter how hard you try, you'll never be a white woman. I know you wish you were. I bet you wish you were a white woman, don't you, Ebony? Ebony wishes that she was a white woman so badly that she chases behind the white men.
So, she's saying she want to assault someone?
Basically, she said he should be slapped again. She wants some simp to come slap him. Shout out to Liana.
I missed the notification. Here's my late fee.
Well, thank you for the late fee. I appreciate that, Liana. Thank you. Make sure y'all like the stream. Let's get the likes up too. What's going on? Let's see. Tape Man, what's up? Daisy, what's good? Pink Unicorn, what's up? Mall MC Edward, what's good, Edward? Yo, you see how crazy this, how deep this shit get, man? I bet she don't even like black men like that. Because when Miss Van Zandt was talking to her, and we're gonna get into it. When she talked about the bus driver, I bet in her mind popped up was a black male bus driver, not a white male bus bus driver, right? I'm telling you, man, I bet she don't even like black men like that, right? Probably complaining about how black men want white women, but here you are, a melanated woman chasing behind white men.
As hard as it sounds, not all BW are like this, SMH. Salute from Brooklyn.
Salute everything by John. I know, listen, I understand that more than anybody, and I've even said that. But I'm going to point out the heifers who are out here making themselves look bad. Yeah, like Malik Andrews. None of these heifers really like black men like that. And at any opportunity I get to clown them, I will do that. This heifer right here who chases behind white men got left at the altar by one. She wants to talk about somebody shucking and jiving and how they need to be slapped. No, they don't need to be slapped, okay? I think that you're a clown. I think that you're a failed gold digger, and I think that you are 39, you're going to be 40, and your dating options are going to dwindle, and they're going to dwindle to where you become one of these bitter heifers talking about white is right. You go from trying to pretend like you're pro-black to going to showing who you truly are. Showing who you truly are, Ebony. Let's get into this from Radar. TV personality Ebony K. Williams didn't mince words or sounding off about her recent experience at Chris Rock's show, accusing the comedian of shucking and jiving for white claps after attending the event solo.
She had a radio show with a mostly white audience with Curtis Sliva and never used terms like y'all.
Oh.
She changes her accent like Shannon Sharp does.
Oh. Do I sense some cooning? Do I sense some shucking and jiving? I can sense that. I can sense that, you know, when she gets around Caucasians, she acts a different way. She puts that white voice on. That's what these heifers do. They put the white voice on. They start switching it up. That's what they do. That's what she does. You know what I'm saying? Williams said she had been a lifelong fan of his comedy up until now. For me, Chris Rock is done, she declared during a recent episode of her podcast, Holding Court. Shout out to Edward Ayers. I appreciate that, Edward. Shout out to Edward for supporting. Radar Online has learned. Too many of you N-words got podcasts and don't be saying nothing. It was just full-on, unapologetically anti-black. Williams further alleged about his jokes, claiming he curtailed some of his bits to cater to that demographic specifically. Y'all see this heifer, man? You was shucking and jiving for white men to get gifts and go on expensive trips. So here you go, trying to disrespect this black man.
Facts, and by the way, Ebony, only good for one thing, lol. And I would date Iyanla, facts, lol.
Appreciate that, everything by John. The Real Housewives of New York alum says she ended up leaving early because she wasn't enjoying herself. You weren't enjoying yourself because you were by yourself. This heifer had to take herself on a date because she ain't had no man to take her on a date. She ain't had no boyfriend to take her on a date. She ain't had no husband to take her on a date. You went to that comedy show and you realized how lonely you really were. You know, and maybe his jokes got to you.
She's trying to be an auntie. Ruckus, Raquel.
Appreciate that, Eric. I don't know what she's trying to be, but going after attacking this black man who's self-made just makes her look heady and dumb.
She's 40 years old and blames black men for actions. Now look at a mirror. Even Iyanla Vanzant couldn't even get to her. Unrealistic expectations.
Appreciate that, Mom. See, nobody can get to women like this. That's why they're miserable. I was disappointed. I was hungry, Williams said. Notice she took that as her cue to go. So not only did you go to this comedy show by yourself, you mean to tell me that you were hungry? You went to a comedy show hungry? Probably was horny too. Williams then brought up the moment Rock was slapped by actor Will Smith while hosting this year's Academy Awards following a G.I. Jane joke he made about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett. I left there thinking he needed to be slapped one more time. I didn't like the first slap. I thought it was just, whatever. But now I'm like, where is Big Willie when you need him? She continued. So your feelings with that hurt, Ebony? And by the way, Ebony looks a lot older in this picture. This is the real Ebony, not the Ebony y'all be seeing in these photos. Ebony don't look 39. She looked like she's in her early 50s, if not mid 50s. You know what I'm saying in this picture, but anyway. Radar Online has reached out to reps of Rock to comment on Williams. He's not going to comment. And by the way, this was last year, fam. This podcast was last year. This was last year, so of course he's not going to say anything. Of course he's not going to say anything. Back in July, Radar Online reported on how Will Smith posted a YouTube video directly apologizing to Rock. I want to skip through some of this. Okay, I think that's it. But to me, this woman, I wanted y'all to see this first. So when I get into my
technology has changed over the decades, and that's made music and audio more accessible than ever.
With Google, we have
woman, I wanted y'all to see this first. So when I get into my commentary with her, I cannot say her name. With her and Miss Van Zandt, right? When I get into it with that, then I'll unload there. But with here, I just wanted y'all to get the gist of the type of person that we're dealing with here. This is what we're dealing with here. And this is why she's on some, I wouldn't date her, but she's a failed gold digger. She really thinks that a rich man is somehow going to come into her life and take care of her. Those men are looking for younger models, Ebony. You're done. You're cooked. You have baggage. You're a weirdo. And you don't know whether you want to be pro-black or you want to be a divested heifer. Which one is it? Which one is it? But I wanted y'all to see that first. I wanted y'all to see the type of heifer we are dealing with and why I call her a failed gold digger. So let me get this video up. Like, just y'all see why these heifers are lonely, man. I wouldn't date her either. I wouldn't date her either. Alright, let's get into this.
Those JDs, MD, PhDs. We also are the fastest growing group of entrepreneurs, along with Latina women in America. Pew Research said that women are now out-earning men in 22 of the largest cities in America, including where I live, New York, DC, LA, you name it. When we talk, and I know that you've said that you cannot teach a...
And by the way, they love putting out these stats about how women are out-earning men. That is very incorrect. That is very incorrect. But these women love pushing these type of stats out here to prove something. What exactly is that proving? That just proves that these men, if this is true, these men are not motivated to work hard. You know why a lot of men, especially a lot of black men, are not motivated to work hard, Ebony, is because a lot of you heifers will date them anyway. These men don't have to work when y'all are willing to allow them to live with you and not have to pay no bills, Ebony. That's why, according to you, these men aren't working hard, they're not as successful as women, which is not true. What is with these stats? So you mean to tell me across the board in 22 cities, women are just out-earning men? That is factually incorrect. Why, if that was the case, Ebony, how come y'all complain about the wage gap? Shout out to Wokewill.
For American Express, the AVGBW entrepreneur makes $24K, which less than a bus driver, according to Glassdoor.
But they're not using those stats, Wokewill. They're using these made-up liberal stats to make women look good. Do you know how? That's why I'm listening to Ebony K. She's talking about how these women are out earning men, but y'all complain about the wage gap. Brittany Griner complain about the wage gap, and that's why they have to go play overseas. So if there's a wage gap in America, Ebony, how are you talking about women out earning men? That just makes no sense. If there's a wage gap in America,
That's true.
then how are women? How are women out earning men if there's a wage gap? Explain that to me. Y'all complain about a wage gap and how men are making this more, but you're saying that these women are far more successful. You see how dumb these women are? That's why you can't take them seriously. They can say it's misogynistic. They can talk about who's incels, but at the end of the day, you heifers are lonely and single. And it ain't because you make more.
Man, or tell a man how to be a man. So I will not ask you to indict men in this question. But I do want you to speak, Ayanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all.
Yeah, you have done them all. Yeah, you have done them all and you still single. You know, and that's the funny thing. When I see these divested heifers running their mouths on YouTube and other platforms just talking down to black men, I just chuckle because there's a lot of women like Ebony K out there who've dated all types of men thinking that they were going to be better than black men, and that just was incorrect because these women are blinded by their worship of non-melanated men. Ebony K has failed dating everybody. That's why she's where she's at, okay? She's failed at dating everybody. Once you fail at dating every race, you might as well just stay single and get some cats and some dogs or something like that.
Damn.
They are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Would you date a bus driver? You. Would you date
If he owns the bus. If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
That's a problem.
Y'all, look at this pretentious heifer. Are you serious? Look at her body language. You don't have anybody, Ebony. You don't have anybody. Nobody is checking for you. Nobody. You better hope a bus driver pays you attention once the makeup can't hide those wrinkles anymore. See, this is the problem. Yeah, like Ebony, you don't even have anybody. You probably don't even have a friend with benefits. You're sitting on here and just so full of yourself. But you're a lonely ass woman. And there's a lot of women like you. And you deserve to be alone. Look at how you carry yourself. And you wonder why men are going overseas and getting no other women? I bet those men ain't broke. I bet those men have money and resources, but they're not going to spend it with women like you. With this attitude and with these made up statistics, women are not doing better across the board. Go to some of these black neighborhoods. Ain't nothing but broke heifers with no men in sight, just women and kids, a bunch of broke, welfare Section 8 having women. Ain't that many successful women out here. You using these stats, you're trying to make it seem like there's no available men out here. See, only ran through women like Ebony K. Williams are gonna say things like this to make themselves feel better. Well, Ebony, women meet and marry men all the time. Or they meet men and they get into long-term relationships all the time. But you ain't. You know why? Because you've convinced yourself that it ain't you, it's them. You're that meme of Jada Pinkett Smith looking herself in the mirror. It's like that meme of Future, but Jada Pinkett Smith's face is there, and it's like, it's not you. It's them. That's you, Ebony. You've convinced yourself. You have a loser's mentality. She has a loser's mentality. You're a loser. She has convinced herself that ain't nothing out here. See, that's what women who are losers do. So you mean to tell me that you can't leave America and find a man? So you only looking at y'all claim that's what we do. Ain't no good women here. Those men don't want you long term because you look like you're crazy. I bet you're crazy. You probably don't even know how to cook.
That's a problem. Because the standards and requisites, and I'm not talking about him laying on his sofa playing video games all day. I'm not talking about that. But the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for who we are as women and who they are in this society. I would date a bus driver if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mama, if he treated me well. I would date a bus driver. But we think that it's another human being's responsibility to give us what we need instead of us building together. I could build with a bus driver. I'd have my little stash over on the side in my prenup, but I could build with a bus driver.
Do y'all see what she's talking about? She's talking about a prenup. Now y'all see how women love to protect their money, but when men try to protect their money, something's wrong with them. Why are you trying to keep your money from her, right? Now look at Ebony's face, right? Look at Ebony's face. She's like, hell no. Alright? Well, Ebony, in a couple of years, that's all that's going to be checking for you. Ain't no rich man trying to take on your baggage. Okay? And like you said, you've dated men from all different walks of life and you still ain't been able to keep one. Something is wrong with you. Yeah, look at her face. Something is wrong with you. Yeah, look at her face. But see, that's the reality setting in for Ebony. See, the reality is starting to set in where she's like, damn, that's all I'm going to be able to choose from. And that is true.
So I think some of the criteria that we look for in the reality of today keeps us unhappy, keeps us angry, keeps us imbalanced. And then when the men show up, we want to beat them up because they're not living up to our standards and criteria. And it's not working, beloved. It's just not working. So it's not that it's bad or wrong. It's obsolete. It's obsolete. We have to come up with a new way of being. I don't believe in carrying a man. A man has to do for himself. My son got his first job when he was 9. Oh.
Once again, you can tell it's going from one ear and out the other. These women are single. And the thing is, I don't want to hear women like Ebony K giving no dating advice. That's the crazy thing. Because you got women like her, right, like a Kendra G who ain't got no man but want to give dating advice. Why would you listen to people like that? Like seriously, why would you listen to people like that? Make sure y'all like the stream. What's good, Gerald? What's good, David? Why would you listen to people who don't have a spouse if you're looking for marriage? And we know what's funny, the married women are the ones who ain't even giving advice. Which is messed up. The married women ain't trying to give no advice.
Okay, because you're a black man, you will know how to take care of yourself. But I think the way we measure it, it's just obsolete.
I think that's a factual analysis. For whatever we want, expect, or told we were going to get, we got to look at the numbers and what's available on the marketplace. So you're certainly not wrong. And y'all, let's tell the truth and shame the devil. We know what you got in that prenup would never be little. It'll never be small. Now that's a big old mound of assets. But that's okay. Let's spend a little more time just so we're really clear in this conversation, Dr. Van Zandt, difference between masculine energy and feminine energy, because I know that is not necessarily gender assigned, right? This is bigger than that. This is bigger than genitalia, right?
Absolutely. When we talk about man is mind, woman is heart. And so many of us have guarded, broken, closeted hearts that we do everything from here. And here, you know, as a woman that's been educated, that, like you said, has a degree, here will run out. Here will lie to you. This will never lie to you. But we've been taught not to trust this. We've been taught not to trust our knowing, our intuition. But a man can have a good idea and be brilliant, you know. So we want to have good ideas. But for us, our power is in knowing. And it's in getting that intuition and moving on it. That our power is in what we feel. Not necessarily emotion, but what we feel in our body. But so many of us are out of touch with our body. We'll give our body to somebody else before we really get in touch with it ourselves.
And Ebony probably knows a whole lot about that. I'm sure Ebony knows a whole lot about giving her body to men that don't love her. That's why she seems so broken. Yep, I remember she was engaged to it. Shout out to Bilderberg boy.
Maybe she can be Steve Harvey's sneaky link.
You know, maybe so. She might be already. You never know, right? Remember, she was engaged to a rich white male named Stephen Glenn, and she claims she's the one who called off the engagement because he wanted to spend time with his children during COVID. He just wanted to get away from her. That's all that was. He didn't want to be around her crazy ass, that's why.
Because we're so busy doing till we don't know how to be. When I talk about feminine energy, again, I'm talking about the grace, the compassion, the humanity. I'm talking about mercy. I'm talking about silence, stillness. I'm talking about flow and movement. I'm talking about speaking from a place of intuitive knowing, love. I'm not, and that's not the masculine way. The masculine way is justice, structure, power, is control. That's masculine. Feminine is dominion, not control. But most of us, many of us, I'm in recovery, are control freaks.
Yeah, a lot of these women are, especially in the melanated community, a lot of you melanated women are very much control freaks. And I can tell that you're a control freak when your boyfriend is living with you. When your boyfriend is living in your house, I can tell that you're a control freak. I really can. A lot of you are comfortable with that. And then when you realize that it's not working out to your benefit, now you're angry at the world. But you want that. You want a man to be under your control. But a man can't be a man if he's under a woman's control. That's why I have no respect for men who seek to live off women. I don't respect you, bro. I don't. You can talk about all the women that you sleep with. That means nothing if you're living off a woman. You need to be able to do all that and have your own. You need to be able to deal with women on your time, not their time. Okay? Being somebody's house boyfriend when you ain't got that much money in your pocket, you ain't got your own car. You know? So I feel like men should take more of a masculine role in their life. Stop living off women because you're only going to get disappointment in the end. It might be fun at first, but then these women are going to start messing with you and playing with you. Right? You're going to become a dime a dozen. Right? You ain't the only dude that they sleeping with. No matter what you think.
So it's a whole nother way, a whole nother vibe. Shoot, aces ahead. There's a whole nother vibe that we can tap into, that we have to tap into, because the world is dying. This society, this system is coming down. And if we don't step into our power as women, we're going down with it.
And women, you got to understand what she's saying. This society is dying. Western society is destroying itself. It's destroying itself. You don't see the decay that is going on in Western society, in America, in Canada, in Australia, in Europe. The society that has now elevated women into leadership positions, that has tried to destroy masculinity. You cannot have a functional society without masculine men. You can't. The decay is real. And Yana can see that. I can see that. I can see that we are in decline. And when things really get bad, there's not going to be anybody there to elevate a lot of you women. A lot of you women think that society, the government's on your side. They're using you to take power away from the men in society. They want to take the guns away. They want to take parental rights away from the parents. They wanted the men out the home, which they were successful with in the black community. They want to separate men from women. The society is in decline. It really is. And y'all better recognize it before it's too late. Nobody's gonna be here to protect you crazy heifers. Nobody. When things...
Okay, I'm gonna cut off with that. It was kind of long. But I want to get to the video of the hour. O'Shea D. Jackson on Dr. Umar. And I'm going.
So the term jungle fever insinuates that you have a white person and a black person coming together. That's jungle fever. In fact, there was a movie about it in the 90s, and Wesley Snipes was one of the main characters. It was a Spike Lee production. But still today, some folks have jungle fever, and that is quite okay. I went to a predominantly white university for a particular point in time in my life, and it was not uncommon to see, black men with white women. That was typical of that time. And I've been graduated college almost 20 years, and it's probably even worse now. So when you go into a white setting, you expect to see jungle fever. But something has been happening here. You have whites particularly targeting black spaces, looking for, you guessed it, black men or black women. But in this particular setting, it is black men. And we're going to talk about how they do it in social media spaces. But I've learned something. Whenever I see this, guys, it's always, let's say, urban whites, if you get what I'm saying. Like somebody like Paul Wall. But, so the other day, your boy Dr. Umar Johnson was on Instagram Live, and he noticed that it was somebody in his comment section that was not black, and he asked the individual person, what they were doing on the live.
Miss Kitty Magic, are you an African queen? Miss Kitty Magic, are you vanilla African, or are you a trespassing snow bunny? Miss Kitty Queen, Miss Kitty Magic, can you confirm? Can somebody please confirm if Miss Kitty Magic is African vanilla sister or a trespassing snow bunny on my live? Can somebody please confirm? Miss Kitty, are you African vanilla or are you a snow bunny trespassing on the live? No disrespect to you. I just need confirmation. Miss Kitty, you're getting 60 seconds to explain to the King Kong of consciousness why you're here. If you give me an honest answer, you can stay. Miss Kitty, I need an honest answer. Why are you on the Notorious RBG's live? Miss Kitty, I need an answer, Miss Kitty. Be honest, Miss Kitty. Are you looking for a brother? Are you melanin shopping? Are you melanin shopping right now? Are you melanin shopping? Maybe you are melanin shopping. Miss Kitty, why are you here, Miss Kitty? Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Where she go?
So you see, he's cracking a little bit of jokes, talking about here, kitty, kitty, and all of that other stuff, right? It's pretty good fun and banter. If it was me, I probably would have just kicked him off and not did all that. But Dr. Umar Johnson has to always try to make some jokes, and he's not that funny. But anyways, let's continue on with the subject. This is not the first time that I have seen something like this happen. Somebody that's white, that's kind of acting like a stereotypical hood black person looking for black men. And I've seen it on these online dating shows like Kendra G.
So why did I have 1,000 million people in my DMs, and I'm already in St. Louis right now with my new boo? Are you serious? Yeah,
like, she saw the live, but he didn't see it, and she sent it to him, and she was like, this is your soulmate. Like, I know who she is. Like, you have to find her. And so, girl, he reactivated his Instagram just to find me. And then he was like blowing up my notifications because there was so many people hitting me up. And so I'm like, who is this man? Kendra. I looked at his profile. I said, ooh, yes, Lord, this is me. And so he had bought a plane ticket to come see me on Tuesday. And so I couldn't wait. I got in my car and I drove 12 hours and I've been here ever since.
Where's he at? I gotta see this man.
But let me wake him up because he said his back hurted.
Now let's go back to that part. Do you see this chick said she had so many messages? Play that part again.
Why did I have 1,000 million people in my DMs?
Right, so many messages, and she looks and sounds like somebody in the urban center of the African American community that's in the ghetto. But hey, this is what she's doing. She's coming out looking for black men specifically for the purpose of booty clapping sounds. But it even gets more interesting. It's not just women doing it from the heterosexual community looking for black men. Oh no. There's also transgendered people.
Are you related to Ken?
I am.
Oh, okay, how?
Sister.
You're a sister.
I am. I'm one of the big booty sisters.
But your name isn't Ken with a K.
Wait a minute. I need to get to the comments. This is a sir, isn't it? Yeah. Dressies. Don't be disrespectful, you guys.
Wait, what happened? You're a sir? What somebody say?
Someone said it's that a sir. I mean, I guess.
Oh, are you a transgender woman?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And there's even gay white men looking for black men.
Hello?
Hey, girl.
Wait a minute, we were here before.
Yes, girl, I just wanted to give you a little update.
Ray, you used to work at Domino's, right?
Until I got fired.
You got fired?
God. Anyways, but yeah. Girl, I'm at work.
Where you work?
Girl, Domino's in Louisiana.
What's the name, baby?
Bree. Girl, I'm so happy to be on. Y'all been trying so long.
Do you want the guy to be in Louisiana?
He doesn't have to be, but I'm not paying to get myself flew. He gonna have to pay for me to get flew out. Feel what I'm saying?
He has to live in Louisiana. If he wants to meet you, he has to fly you out.
Right.
Does the guy gotta make a certain amount of money?
No, as long as he could provide for himself, his children, and throw me a little rent money, some,
He gotta pay your rent at times?
Huh?
He gotta pay your rent at times?
Well, baby, I'm not. If he gonna be to my house, I'm not paying me.
Yeah, you guys saw that. But I want to get into this particular talking point because this is happening all over black social media. This is not like, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, where, you have blacks thriving and doing very well. And whites want to get jealous and want to take over. No, here you have whites who are specifically interested in blacks, and they're coming over looking for blacks because either they feel like they are black or they just like black people, and they're searching to do something with them. And I'm going to tell you why that's the case. Because they know coming over to the black platforms, they get what? More hype. Now remember what the white lady said. She was like, when I came on the Kendra G's platform, I had so many messages. But can we honestly say that if she was a black woman that looked and sounded like her, would she get that many messages?
No.
No. We all know that. Even for the person that was transgender or for the young man that was gay, they know one thing. If I come over to the black sector, I will get a lot of opportunities from black men or black women or whoever else. And that's what they do. They target black spaces in particular to do this. But hold on a second. Dr. Umar Johnson actually dropped bars when he said this.
Miss Kitty said it's a black-owned business, so Miss Kitty hangs out with black women. Miss Kitty hangs out with black queens so she can get the black king. You not slick, Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty, you are not slick. You are one of those white women who hang out with black women and you take all of your black girlfriends' men. Miss Kitty, you are not slick, Miss Kitty. Miss Kitty, you are one of those snow bunnies who hang out with the black women and you sleep with all their boyfriends. Miss Kitty, you are a naughty girl, Miss Kitty.
So wait, let's examine that because, there are white women who have black female friends, right? And we're not saying that you can't make genuine friends with other groups of people.
Right.
I have friends that are not black and
Me
we
too.
are very close. And, they've been great people. A great person is a great person. You won't get no argument from me about that.
Right.
But there are cases where not only are white women or whoever else targeting black women for friends, they're also at a certain point using them to get to black men or black women, and then you know what goes on from there. Booty clapping sounds. That's exactly what happens, and because when white women come into the black community, they're white. They don't have to really be what they were in the white community. So why not go to the black community and get the best that you can get, and you can get elevated real quick because you are Caucasian. And this is what's happening. And for me, I believe that is some level of racism. I have never seen any white person, this is since I've been on social media, that come into black sector spaces that look for black people. I've never really seen one that will do that actually has, in my honest opinion, like great intangibles to offer me. They're always having some sort of, in these particular cases, problematic issues. Baby mama, multiple kids, broke, or whatever. The white people that are doing very well, and maybe they would date blacks, they never try to invade these spaces. They will typically find somebody black that's, on their level, whatever. But when they particularly target blacks, they're only targeting blacks because they can't get what they can get in the white community. And a lot of times, blacks need to understand that. And Dr. Umar, I don't even know why he was still entertaining that when he should have just kicked the person out of the chat room. But again, like I said, even Dr. Umar recognizes that white people get attention. And this is one of the reasons why he's so fucking foolish, because even on the planes he does stuff like that, which makes him look like a damn idiot. Again, this is what we're talking about. But guys, what do you think?
Okay, I'm gonna interject from here. Okay, I agree. If you have black friends, that's fine. But this is directed to the LGBTQ, the gay man and the transgender woman. Why, if they were attracted to black men, why don't they go to attract to black men who are LGBTQ? Why? And I think Kendra G should have something for the LGBTQ men who are gay or those ones who are transitioning to women. Just like women looking for women. Why is that? And I don't understand. It's like you're not to the transgender person, you're not technically a woman. No straight man wants somebody that has never been born naturally as a woman. I don't understand what that mindset. No straight man really wants a man who was once a man turned into a woman. That's just not happening. There's a segment for that. Unless you meet a woman who's transitioning to a man that look like a man that look like, that's the only way what you're going to get. But most straight people, unless they got some bi in them, don't want to deal with that. The gay, like I said, there are gay LGBTQ black men that have their own platforms. Why are they coming over to the straight part of it? There are plenty of gay men who are, have platforms. One of them that comes up to the you feed is he's in Atlanta. He's a gay man. He's a big muscular gay man. You probably seen it. And it's a couple of them, but why do they come over to straight? It's like, no, you need to go into Billy Porter. You know what I'm saying? You should be looking for a Billy Porter. RuPaul, someone like that. So if you want that kind of platform, and I think they need to stop doing that. I think that when it comes to LGBTQ, you need to have your own section, and that's just only fair. But no straight person wants to come with that. I don't know about straight. I don't think even straight women want that. I'm just saying. The third thing is that the point about it is that, I mean, it's one thing if you're attracted to black men, maybe they should have an interracial segment as far as that. There are websites that are interracial, or someone who has an interracial platform. But when it's predominantly black, most likely be black men and black women. It's like over in the predominantly white community, but at least you have a platform for interracial couples. And I think maybe Kendra G or one of her friends can do something like that. Okay? But when it sounds like to me, will probably disturb some black people, men and women, when you have both. These people coming over to the community and say, hey, and that's fine, but that's what they want. Like everybody, and what O'Shea is saying, and that's basically what he was saying. And that's true. I don't know why it is, and I don't know why black people cater to people like that. Even when that just pearly thing jumped off, it is like the black man just rolled out the carpet for her, and you see what she turned out to be. She had even white people. You would see what she was. But we so quick to roll out. The next thing about it's a reality with the women who call themselves gold diggers. Yeah, that's your reality, and I'm glad Ms. Yolanda Van brought that out. It took a woman to bring that reality out. And what the brother said earlier, yeah, that's true. So these guys will give you statistics on. So these women with these high maintenance mindset, that's what you got. Who's very independent. Don't need a man. That's what you're looking at. So you have to have a pleasant personality. If you don't have a pleasant personality, ain't nobody gonna stick around for you long. That's just what it is. But you could be the most attractive person, but if you got a messed up personality, you're not gonna be able to hold that relationship. You might be attracted to somebody, but holding some relationship is a totally different mindset. And you have a lot of people who are attractive that have an ugly demeanor, and that's why they're single. That's why. Because most attractive people get hooked up and quick, just like they get married, just like that. And then sometimes some attractive people don't want to stay faithful. They don't, because they're too much into themselves. They could turn their own self into an own idol. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had to bring this one out, man. This was hilarious, especially with the one towards the end. And black men, be careful if you go on a Kendra G show. You get them two additionals want some on YouTube. Unless you go that, unless you part of that community, like I said, I think. But ain't no straight man gonna want that. So it's just something to think about. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the video, share, like, and subscribe. To next time, shout out to the commentators and in their videos. Take care, be blessed, and guys, be careful what you ask for, because you might just get something you don't want.